HD2 New York, a good karma Brands radio station.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Monday, November 24th, 2025. Me and you for two. Those are the rules of engagement, the fastest 2 hours in sports talk radio. Now, there are days where I realize 2 hours, just not enough. And this happens to be one of those days. Giants and the Jets. 2 more losses. Shane Bowen, the maligned defensive coordinator of the Giants, fired around 9 a.m. today. David Stearns speaking about the trade of Brendan Nimmo for Marcus Semien. And Hal Steinbrenner talking with the media for the first time since he spoke with them when the Yankees lifted the no beards and long hair rule. So there's a lot of stuff going on. We will cover it as best we can. That which we cannot get to, obviously Don Hahn and Rosenberg will pick it up from there at 3 o'clock. We'll have Andy Martino on with us at 2 o'clock so he could break down Stearns' explanation for the deal and also talk about what Hal Steinbrenner said today as well. We have Steve Young coming on. He'll be on at 1:30 as he is every Monday. So we'll try to do it as best we can for you. Again, me and you for two to start off a Thanksgiving week. All right, so we'll get to the football right away. Mike Kafka made a decision at the end of that game where the Giants lost to the Lions in overtime that he was going to go for a touchdown rather than go for a field goal. Obviously, he had no faith whatsoever in his defense. So it was 4th and goal from the 6. Not 4th and goal from the 2. Not 4th and goal for the 1. No. 4th and goal from the 6 with 2:54 remaining. So he decides to go for it, and Jameis Winston throws an incomplete pass. So you could say, okay, that's a long way for the Lions to go because they're on the 6-yard line. But it's not a long way because they don't have to get a touchdown. They only have to get a field goal to tie the game and put it into overtime. And everybody out there, within the sound of my voice, you knew that they were going to get a field goal to tie it up. Now, it came close to missing. It turned out to be a 59-yard field goal. And boy, if there was ever a time where a head coach screamed, I have zero trust whatsoever in my defense, it was that. It's amazing to me that I'm reading all the stories today and everybody's saying that Mike Kafka made the right decision. I don't think he did. You have to have some faith in one of the aspects of your team. You don't think that they could have stopped them from scoring a touchdown? And if they did, you throw your hands up and I said, I did the right move at the right time. I'm making them score a touchdown to win a game, not a field goal. They have a pretty good field goal kicker. So they didn't have to get that close. It ended up being a 59-yard field goal that just squeaked through lower right-hand corner of the uprights. Forcing overtime, then Jahmyr Gibbs, who had an unbelievable game, breaks off a big run. Essentially, the game was over because the Giants could not score after that. So that's a curious decision by me, or to me, by Kafka. I don't get it. They wasted a good performance by Winston. They wasted a fairly good performance by the defense. They were 27-17 with 12:16 remaining in the game. But this is their 5th loss in the 4th quarter. Their 5th loss in the 4th quarter. So, I mean, are we going to keep hammering away at this? I don't think Kafka is going to be the coach. I think he had the team ready to play. Winston played very, very well, which makes you wonder why Russell Wilson started. He's so much better so far than Russell Wilson. He caught a pass from Olszewski. He had a really, really good game. 18 for 36, 366 yards, 2 TDs, and 1 interception. But the Giants are what the Giants are, which brings us to the Jets. And the Jets are what the Jets are. They beat a Ravens team that is not the same Ravens team, that is not the same Lamar Jackson at quarterback, much more tentative in running the ball, and they lose 23-10. 10 straight losing seasons for the Jets, that ensures. In a league built on parity. Think about that. So instead of parity, the Jets have achieved parity. Parody. It's unbelievable. You can't believe that this is happening. Now, we talk about coaches' decisions. It's a 10-7 game. 4th and 2, and the Jets are in their own territory in the third quarter, and they elect to go for it, and they don't make it. Why? Why would you go for it there? And then, Aaron Glenn saying, well, I'm looking to be aggressive. Yeah, I know you're looking to be aggressive. But that's not the time. Just keep playing the punt game. Play the field position game. What are you doing? That was not the time to go for it. And also, maybe you saw Dan Campbell going for it. Dan Campbell has St. Brown. He's got Jahmyr Gibbs. He can go for it because he's got weapons. What do the Jets have? The offense was slightly better with Tyrod Taylor, but come on. That's not when you go for it. That's a dumb move. A dumb move. And they continue to commit penalties. 3 third-down penalties, defensive penalties on third down, which gave them more downs. Now they've cut down on the amount of penalties, but not the amount of painful penalties. Just not good. And then, Aaron Glenn talks about, you know what, things that are going on behind the scenes, we like the way they're going. It doesn't matter. You like the way things are going, your team stinks. They're not winning games. We need a manifestation of what's going on and turning things around. And going for it there was not the right move. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Both teams. Every week. One thing I will tell you, though. I will tell you this. Neither team played folly. Neither team looked like a joke. They both were competitive against teams that have intention of going far in the playoffs. Giants went to Detroit and played a really tough game. Give them credit. And the Jets didn't roll over and die against the Ravens. I give them credit. They're not coming out and doing Benny Hill, with that song in the background. They're not looking like that. But the coaches continue to make curious decisions. We don't have to worry about Kafka because I don't think he's keeping the job. Well, we do have to worry about Aaron Glenn because he's the one that's changing the quote-unquote culture of the Jets, and I'm not seeing it on the field. Not seeing it on the field. Going for it then in the third quarter was not the move. Let's talk about the Nimmo deal, if we can. I keep reading. Now, obviously, I follow the Mets very closely, but I don't follow it the way I would the Yankees, because I'm around the Yankees every single moment. I think I follow it very closely. But, everything that was written about this trade today, an all-time favorite of Met fans, Brandon Nimmo. Now, everything I've heard about Brandon Nimmo and my interactions with him, which were few, a delightful person. Like everything that would be good about a baseball player is Brandon Nimmo. But is he like an all-time Met fan favorite? Am I missing something? Hey, please call and tell me if I'm wrong. Because I keep hearing the same thing about Pete Alonso. And I know Pete Alonso is a favorite. I get it. But is Brandon Nimmo that beloved by Met fans? Do you think that Met fans today were staggered when they heard last night that Brandon Nimmo was being traded? Now, one thing I will tell you, if you listen to this show and you've listened to me for 24 years, I'm not going to sit here and be a hot take artist and judge the Met offseason off this one move. Those that are knee-jerk reactioning to this, what are you doing? This is the first move of what's going to be plenty. You evaluate when they get to Port St. Lucie what type of team that David Stearns has put together. That's what you do. Oh, what are they doing? They don't have an outfielder. It's November 24th. You're worried about them not having an outfielder? Let's talk when they go to Fort St. Lucie and they haven't signed an outfielder, haven't made another trade. I mean, the lunacy of this business now where we have to give a definitive grade on a deal. How it stacks up for the whole, we have no idea. But I will tell you this, there are certain things that you can evaluate on this deal. And one of them is defense is going to be important to David Stearns. So what he did was he acquired a 2-time Gold Glove winning second baseman whose offense is on the downside, but he did just come off winning a Gold Glove, and his outs above average was 7 last year. Very, very good. He's in the 92nd percentile when it comes to range at second base. So you solidified second base defensively. I don't know what you did offensively. He had 230, 15 home runs, 62 runs batted in. This is a guy who in the old days could really hit a lot of home runs. And you traded away Nimmo, who started to lose a step defensively, but actually had a really good season offensively. 262, 25 home runs, and 92 runs batted in. Nimmo has 5 years left on his deal, and the Mets kicked in $5 million. So his deal averages about $20 million a year. So the Mets kicked in $5 million. And Semien is 35 years old, while Nimmo's 32. And Semien's owed $72 million for 3 years. So the Mets are taking on more salary, which should never be an issue with them because they have a truckload of money. They mean Steve Cohen. So I understand all that. It comes down to this. If, in fact, Nimmo is as popular as, some of the columnists and the pundits are saying, then this, to me, does not bode well for Pete Alonso. And it shouldn't, by the way, because you can't build a team because somebody is a favorite of you, of your fan base. You know what? You know what your fan base really wants? They want to make the playoffs. They want to have a chance to win a World Series. They don't want you to have a $340 million payroll of players they really like and not make the playoffs. That's what fans want. You got to have a bunch of creepy people on the team that don't do interviews, that don't sign autographs, and you know what? They go out and win. That's all fans should care about. So the fact that Nimmo is as popular as he's made out to be would tell you they don't care about that, and nor should they. So if I'm Pete Alonso, I feel a little bit wary now because Pete Alonso is much, much more popular than Brendan Nimmo. And if they don't think that they can win with that defense at first base and giving him a 7-year contract, then they're going to move on. They're going to move on. Here's David Stearns, president of baseball operations of the Mets, when he was asked why he made the Nimmo trade.
Marcus brings an elite level of defense. He's one of the best defensive infielders in baseball and has been for a number of years. He's a winner, brings a winning drive and determination that we think is going to fit well in our clubhouse. And he balances our lineup from the right side, which is something we were seeking to do. So very happy to be able to bring Marcus in. And beyond the immediate player return part of this deal, we think this opens up possibilities and flexibility for us going forward, both from a near-term perspective and also allowing space for a number of very young outfielders who are coming, who are talented, and will deserve spots at the major league level and to play at the major league level. And this transaction also provides room for that to happen as we move forward. So these are always tough decisions. This was not easy. Everyone here thinks very highly of Brandon, but in order to create the type of sustainable championship caliber play that we seek to have here, at times these types of decisions are necessary.
Now, he was asked how much he weighed Nimmo's relationship with the fans before trading him.
It was something we had to think about, no question, both in terms of fan reality and the fan relationship with Brandon, but also we have real relationships with Brandon and our players have real relationships with Brandon. Coaches do, front office does. And so that is a part of this. And that certainly makes decisions like this a little bit more challenging than they otherwise would be. But at the end of the day, I still felt like this was the right decision for the organization.
Now, Nimmo did not have to accept the trade. He had a blanket no trade clause. Blanket. And he probably accepted it for this reason. Hey, the team doesn't want me. B, I'm going to Texas where there's no state tax, so I'm essentially getting a raise. Another reason the Mets made the deal, they want to get more right-handed. They're too left-handed. And it would also seem like it would spell the end for Jeff McNeil, who can play some outfield. But if you're looking to improve the defense, you're not putting Jeff McNeil in the outfield. Your second base is now taken by Simeon, who wants to play every day. Stearns was asked, what's your plan with Jeff McNeil?
I think Jeff, by virtue of his positional versatility, still has the ability to impact our team in a variety of ways. What exactly that's going to look like is probably going to have to wait until we watch the rest of the offseason unfold. But certainly his ability to play corner outfield is a help. There may still be days if Simeon needs a blow where he's playing some second base. We may ask Jeff to play some first base, depending on how the offseason pans out. I talked to Jeff yesterday. He understands where we're headed. I think he wants to be a part of this, and he understands his positional versatility is a real asset for us.
Jeff is due to make $17.75 million in the final year of his contract. So if the Mets trade him, they'll have to eat some of that. And, they already ate $5 million in the Nimmo deal. I'm sure they would eat $5 million on the McNeil deal as well. This does open up the outfield for them. They need a center fielder. They need a left fielder. Does that mean they're going to make a big run at Bellinger? Does that mean they're going to make a big run at Tucker? You never know. They have deep pockets, so they can make a run at whomever they would like. David Stearns was asked about how will the outfield look.
I think it would be too early for me to really determine how our outfield alignment's gonna shape up. But we clearly we've got Juan. Tyrone Taylor's back with us. We're very excited. We've got a number of young outfielders, including Carson Bench, who we think are going to contribute at the major league level over the course of next year. As I mentioned, we think Jeff is a contributor at the major league level in the outfield next year. Jet Williams has seen some outfield time and we believe can play well there. And we've seen that in the minor leagues. And then there is the opportunity for external acquisitions. And we've got a lot of offseason left. I would expect us to continue to be active in a variety of spaces to bring players in here. And I think we'll have a better feel for what all of that looks like as we get much farther into the winter and ultimately into the spring.
That would be farther is distance. David Stern, I'm sorry. I don't know why I do stuff like that, but David Stern's a pretty bright guy. I'm surprised he went with that. He was asked, will we have the financial flexibility to add a top-flight outfielder?
I think our ownership group and Steve is very consistent that they're willing to support what we think is right from a baseball perspective. Payroll space is not unending, but I am also very confident that we're going to have the support we need and certainly the resources we need to put a very good team on the field.
And finally, do you want Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz back?
As I've said before, we'd love to have Pete and Edwin back. They're both great Mets. I'm not going to get into any of the specifics of any conversations that we've had to this point.
So there you have it. The Mets made the deal last night. Commenting on it today is David Stearns. Now we'll get you to comment on it as well. And we'll start this off with Mike in New Jersey. Mike, talk to us.
Michael, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. So, as you mentioned before, I'm a big Mets fan, right? I like Nimmo, but he wasn't some fan favorite that when I saw the trade yesterday, I started crying over it. They needed to upgrade. He's not the same player he was years ago. He has no arm and left. He was going to become a DH eventually. And when you have a guy like Soto and maybe even Pete, if they bring him back, eventually they're going to be DHs. So it didn't make sense. And I'll tell you this, the good franchises don't hold that emotional attachment to players, okay? For example, I'm a big Rams fan in football, diehard Rams fan.
Right.
When we let go of Cooper Kupp, right, we love Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP, amazing. He wasn't the same player he was, and we let him go. It was sad, but you have to do what you have to do to win. And I'm sorry, I think this is the best idea to do this, and that'll give you more flexibility in the outfield.
I agree with everything you're saying, but let me just reiterate, Mike. I want to check it out one more time. Compare Nimmo's popularity to the fans to Alonso's.
Yeah, it's
what's the
I
comparison?
don't think it's close. I think Pete's way more popular than Nimmo.
So if they let Pete go to another team, Mike, would the fan base be upset? Would you be upset?
I'd be upset if they don't get a good replacement. I think he's more popular because he's a better player, to be honest. That's just how it is. He has home runs, the home run record. If they let him go, I would be upset. But if they let him go and then they bring in Kyle Tucker or something like that, then, yeah, I'm going to get over it quickly. But it's all about the replacement, in my opinion.
No, good. I'm glad you called that. That makes, I mean, it validates what my feeling was. Again, I'm not embedded with the Mets. And I just when I read that, wow, he a fan favorite. I mean, yeah, he's a delightful guy. He's been a good player for them, but I never really felt that, okay, that's the guy. That's the guy that really moves the needle with Met fans. Let's go to Greg. He's in the work truck. Greg.
Michael, how are you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling a lot better, thank you.
I'm thrilled to hear that. As a Met fan, diehard, and I have them tattooed on me, was Nimmo popular? Yes. Was I shocked to see him traded? Yes. Do I think that Marcus Semien was the right piece to get back? Defensively, yes. He might be a little older for my liking, but I trust David Stearns. As to Pete Alonso, when it comes to him, the only way I'll be upset if he's not retained is if the Mets make him a legitimate offer and some other team, let's say for purposes of discussion, the Red Sox or the Jays or someone else in a different league, overwhelms him completely, and the Mets say, not happening with us.
Well, but let me ask you this, though. What if some team gives him 7 years and the Mets say, we'll give you 4. You're 31 years old. You're a first baseman. Would that upset you?
I've juggled that a lot, and with Pete turning 31, I'm not sure if I would be thrilled with the Mets going over 4 years, especially for a guy of his stature.
Right.
Great offensive threat, but I'm not sold on him as a stellar defensive player. I'd love to have him as a DH going forward after a year or so.
But here's the problem with that, and I agree with everything you're saying, Greg. He certainly, through Boris, has said he seems like he's amenable to being a DH. But here's the problem. At some point, Soto's going to become a DH. I don't think we're within spitting distance of that, but I don't think Soto's going to be a right fielder when he's 34 years old. But you know, that's well in the future. But you'd like to give Soto some time at DH. And in terms of defense, Pete's not good defensively except on scoops. He tosses the ball to first base poorly, and that got Senga injured, which really turned their fortunes around when Senga hurt his hamstring, stretching for a toss from Pete Alonso. So, you know, if you're really committed, as this trade shows, to improve your defense exponentially, then how could Pete be your first baseman? Now, if you decide to let him go, you better replace all that production. Or if you feel like, okay, we're going to trade off the defense because nobody can give us the offense that Pete does. Those are decisions they're going to have to make. Jose in Connecticut. Jose?
Hey, Michael, how you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I agree with you. Thank you, because I was just upset by the reactions by some Mets fans about Nimmo. Like when we signed him for 7 years, that first year we started seeing his big drop off from defensively. Like, I know the injuries have played a part of it, but you can't have multiple guys on an outfield that can't play defense. So you can't have Nimmo and Soto out there for 5 more years together. So I think it's a good deal. You get all the points. And I just think fans need to sometimes relax with they fall in love with homegrown guys, but he accepted no trade, so clearly he was okay with leaving, right? So why should we be so upset?
Well,
and,
I think I mean, one thing I would say, Jose, I mean, we can't be cruel. I mean, they came to him and said, we'd like to trade you. He just, he's talking to Laura Albanese of Newsday. And he said that he just built a forever home at Port St. Lucie. He said, our thought was to be with the Mets forever. It's tough to turn it down when they say, you know what, we don't want you anymore. So you're saying he's okay with being traded. That's a little harsh. I think it was presented to him. He doesn't seem like he's in their plans. They don't think he's the player that's going to help them. Oh, okay. Then I'm not blaming that guy. I mean, that guy's done right by the Mets all the time. And I don't think the Mets have done wrong by trading him. But it does make me laugh. So there's been some pushback when I talked about the Yankees should, investigate Tatis. And people, he has a no trade clause till 28. Yeah. So no trade clause until you waive it. You don't think that Tatis would want to play on the stage in Broadway? Whether for the Yankees or the Mets? So no trade clauses are as good as the ability of that player to stand firm and say, no, you're not trading me. How often does a no trade clause completely scuttle a deal that you want to make? There's always a deal to be made. And Brandon Nimmo got what amounts to a raise in the middle of an 8-year contract because he's going to Texas where there's no trade deadline or where there's no state tax. Now, there's been so much reaction to the Nimmo deal and what Hal Steinbrenner is saying, so we're going to shift things around just a little bit, if you guys don't mind. We're going to have Steve Young on late in the 2 o'clock hour rather than right now because people obviously want to talk about the Mets' decision and some of the things that David Stern is saying, as well as some of the stuff that Hal Steinbrenner is saying as well. So we'll keep it rolling there, and we'll move Steve Young to about 2:40. We have Andy Martino coming on at 2 o'clock. So we've got this covered. I promise you. I promise you that. Hey, this Thanksgiving, FanDuel introducing a brand new way to build a parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. Here's how it works. Start a group build, add your pick, then pass it to your friends so they can add theirs. When everyone's done, you can each lock in the group parlay with your own funds because football is better when it's played and bet together. And to make it even better, everyone gets a 50% profit boost to use on their build. So the Chiefs are in Dallas, so maybe you like Mahomes and the over on passing yards in that game. And the Ravens are hosting the Bengals. Will Derrick Henry find the end zone? He certainly did yesterday against the Jets. Well, grab your crew, start your build, and get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. Visit FanDuel.com/K to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Rangers fans, it's time for Blue Shirts hockey. The action starts tonight at the Keg Room with Team ESPN New York and Bud Light. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Rangers bar to watch the game versus the Blues, the Keg Room is your destination. The party kicks off at 6:30 p.m. and Team ESPN will be giving away plenty of ESPN prizes. Join fellow Rangers fans tonight on West 36th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue and enjoy Bud Light specials all night long. It all happens at the Keg Room.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Whether you're shopping, gaming, or streaming this Black Friday season, don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber for the fastest, most reliable, and most consistent internet speeds, starting at $25 a month. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch. Act now and get a full year of Netflix, an unlimited mobile line, a $400 prepaid card, and more, all on us. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Optimum, don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025. Last chance! Donate now for a 2025 tax deduction.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
ZipRecruiter.
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Roaring engines this year. Hess race cars are here.
The Hess stock car racers are loaded with lights, sounds, and a powerful racing motor. Only at HessToyTruck.com. Free shipping and batteries included.
Coach Saban here, and let me tell you, every second matters. Preparation is everything, and that's why I trust Kidde Smoke Alarms.
And as North America's #1 home fire safety brand, they're built to respond over 25% faster to smoke detection. Kidde helps protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. #1 claim based on total household installations as of December 2023. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products.
Your fantasy roster is set. The Smack Talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Back here on the K Show, it's odd that somebody representing the Mets and then the owner of the Yankees speaking at essentially the same time. At this point, we're not getting audio from Hal Steinbrenner, but I will read some of the quotes that have been put together by Gary Phillips, who covers the Yankees for the New York Daily News. He said, Hal did, that it would be ideal for the payroll to go down, but that doesn't mean that's going to happen. We want to field a team we believe could win a championship. Steinbrenner said MLB's uncertain economic labor future would not impact how the Yankees go about their offseason. He also reiterated support for a salary cap that is contingent on a floor. He said that before. Steinbrenner goes on to say, quote, I really love our starting rotation next year, but he said the Yankees have to get through April and will keep their options open. He said they have options in the outfield. He would not comment on Bellinger or specific free agents and said that the team needs bullpen help. Steinbrenner was asked, I've seen it suggested that your revenues went over $700 million, so I'm assuming you make a profit. Is that fair as well? The Yankees owner replied, no, it's not fair, actually. So the follow-up was, so you take a loss. Hal said, I don't want to get into it, but that's not a fair statement or an accurate statement. Everybody wants to talk about revenues. They need to talk about our expenses, including the $100 million expense to the city of New York that we have to pay every February 1st, including the COVID year. So it all starts to add up in a hurry. Nobody spends more money, I don't believe, on player development, scouting, performance science. So those all start to add up. If you want to go look at the revenues, you've got to somehow try to figure out the expense side as well. You might be surprised. Then he had another follow-up. Later on, he said, I'm just trying to get this right. Did you say you guys didn't make money this season? And Hal said, I'm not going to get into our finances. I simply said what he implied was not correct. He was asked about his previous quote saying it's difficult for most owners to spend like the Dodgers, questioning if it would pay off for them. He said, if there's a correlation between spending the most money and winning a championship, I still think it's a weak correlation and sample size of data, but they earned every bit of it. They struggled with injuries throughout the season, which I did talk about in that same quote, but they got healthy at the right time. The rotation got healthy, and when that rotation is healthy, they're tough to beat. They, quite frankly, played up to their potential. They really played up to their potential, especially those last two games. That has to happen. Your players have to play up to their potential when you're playing a team as good as the Blue Jays and you're playing under the kind of pressure in the World Series. Hats off to them. It's not easy to do twice, and they did it in dramatic fashion this time. But again, We'll see what they do next year, and we'll see how it pans out. There was nothing low about my payroll and the Mets payroll. Look where we ended up. Now, Yankee fans will not like this, but Steinbrenner gave Aaron Boone a vote of confidence, calling him, quote, a good manager at many of the things he has to do. Also, that the Yankees need to make fewer, quote, mental mistakes and mistakes on the bases, and that's why he made the coaching change. He took issue with the team's annual summer swoon this past season. Quote, I don't expect to see that every year. And regarding the loss to the Blue Jays in the ALDS, he said, quote, it's on the players' shoulders. He was asked, are you worried about the Dodgers pulling away from the pack? Steinbrenner said, of course it's a concern. They do have tremendous resources, and they've gotten the job done. That's the big thing. They played to their potential when they needed to. They have overcome a lot of injuries this year. Again, they got healthy at the right time. I don't know what next year is going to bring. But, of course, it's always a problem anytime I feel that one team is pulling away from the other 29 or selfishly pulling away from me. I'm not quite sure I'm convinced of that yet because so much happens during the course of the baseball season. But all we could do is the best we can. Put the best team together, the best roster together that we can. So that's what Hal said so far today. Let's go back to the phone calls and see what you're saying. Let's go to Joe in Danbury. Joe.
What's up, Michael?
Hello, Joe.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
Not bad, man. I travel for work to different malls, so I listen to you every day, man. For years, I want to say, man, you're one of the best, podcasters, radio guys that I've been listening for like 16 years, man. Now.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Keep me going through the ups and downs. But anyways, I'm gonna. I know you were talking about Mets and the trade.
No, you can talk about the Yankees if you want.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Yankee fan. I feel I had a question. I don't want to see if it's dumb to you and other fans that's listening. Is there any way that we could retain Cody and get Tatis? It would be enough money on the books for that to happen?
No, I don't think that would be possible, Joe. Simply because once you assume Grisham's $22 million, if you're signing Bellinger, it's going to be over 30, and there really wouldn't be a role for Tatis unless you want to shift him back to shortstop. I don't think the Yankees would do that. And I think the payroll would be at a limit where I don't think they'd be comfortable going over that. Hey, I want to remind everybody, Game Time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 4:30 p.m., the St. John's Red Storm play the Iowa State Cyclones. Coverage on the ESPN New York app begins at 4:10. 7 p.m., the Rangers host the Blues at Madison Square Garden. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. That'll be on 1050 ESPN. Also at 7 p.m., the Devils host the Red Wings at the Prudential Center. 7:30, Knicks are in Brooklyn to play the Nets. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. right here on 880 ESPN, and you can also watch it on the Yes Network. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Clause up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. Also Monday Night Football tonight, 49ers and the Panthers. 6 p.m. is Monday Night Countdown, and following the game, Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. Let's go to David on the east side. David.
Yeah, I think the Nimmo deal is about one thing. It's making room for Kyle Tucker, Cody Bellinger, or maybe even both. Hear me out. If you look at who's available in the next few years as free agent outfielders, it's really thin. And Cody Bellinger, I know he's not perfect, but he's up there in terms of who is going to be available in the next 5 years, and that's not even assuming we get a salary cap. Steve Cohen has, to put it mildly, FU money. Especially because Soto reset the market. I think he's in a position to make stupid offers to both. The only thing that could have prevented him from doing that is you have Brandon Nimmo blocking up a spot in the outfield. Now that he's gone, I think they can go all in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that they would go that route because one thing they're trying to do is get a little less left-handed. I'm not going to say that they wouldn't go for one of them. I don't see them going for both of them. As you said, if Steve Cohen, who's closing in on 70, I think he's 68, 69 years old, decides, you know what, I'm going to have a $450 million payroll. There might not be baseball in 2027. Maybe he does do something silly like that. But you did hear David Stern say that there is a limit. But if you're going to sign Tucker's going to be about close to 35 to 40 million a year. And then you're going to sign Bellinger. That's going to be 30 million a year. So let's say 40 and 30, that's 70 million. Then you bring back Alonso. That's going to be 30. that's $100 million that you're adding, and you didn't subtract anything because you took on Simeon's contract. So you'd be adding $100 million to a payroll was at $340. Now that's before you even bring back Edwin Diaz, if in fact you have to do that, and that's $20 million. So you're talking about a payroll that's going to soar past the Dodgers, what the Dodgers have. I'm telling you, I think even Steve Cohen has limits. I really do believe Steve Cohen has limits. Let's go to Phil in Brooklyn.
Thank
Phil.
you so much.
Hey, Phil.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. I like the Nimmo trade for this reason. You improve at second base, and, I'm sure they're going to go out and get a left fielder. You improve there, too, because that guy is going to be better than Nimmo. So, to me, it's a win-win. It's an interesting trade, but I think in the long run, it's going to be a very good one.
Well, I don't hate the trade. I don't hate that trade because if when he had his post-mortem press conference, he just hammered home the point. Run prevention. Well, Simeon gives you run prevention, but you still have a weak right fielder. You have a shortstop that's getting older. He's still a pretty good shortstop. I don't think he's as good as he was when he was in his mid-20s. If you bring back Alonso, you've got a subpar defensive first baseman. Whoever you put at third base, they're not exactly, going to be Brooks Robinson. Your catching situation, I don't think is great defensively. So they've got a lot of heavy lifting to do. Now, Bellinger is a really good outfielder, especially in left. Tucker is a good right fielder. I don't know what he would be in left. And I don't think that they're as high a grade on Bellinger in center as he is in left. That's why I don't think they'd get Bellinger and Tucker. I think they'll make a run, probably at Tucker, because that's kind of a game-changing move. It moves the needle. It would excite the fan base. They have to do something. I mean, after you miss the playoffs with a $340 million payroll, which is practically impossible to do, and you miss it to the Reds, you can't do it again. They've got to come back strong. They've got to come back strong. 1-800-919-3776. Let's talk. Remember Shane Bowen, fired as the defensive coordinator of the Giants. Giants with an overtime loss to the Lions. Jets with a loss to the Ravens. A lot of stuff going on. We'll have Andy Martino of SNY at 2 o'clock. Maybe he can make more sense of the Simeon Nimmo deal. And I want to hear from you as well. Again, the number, 1-800-919-3776. It's K and U for 2 right here on ESPN New York.
Monday with Don Hahn and Rosenberg. The Giants fired defensive coordinator Shane Bowen this morning.
This was necessary and needed to happen. Charlie Bullen, the outside linebackers coach, is likely to take over.
With both the Giants and Jets seasons over before Thanksgiving again, which team are you more confident in turning it around first? And what's next for the Mets after trading Brandon Nimmo? Don Hahn and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
At the 5-yard line, handoff Breece Hall, finds a crease, runs left, he's into the end zone for a Jet touchdown. Jets fans, clear the runway and be at MetLife Stadium for Week 13 as your New York Jets take on the Atlanta Falcons. Sunday, November 30th at 1 p.m., presented by New Jersey Lottery. Join us as we celebrate First Responders Day. Don't miss your chance to be at the game. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
D'Agostino Law Bite Back. I'm injury attorney John Ryan D'Agostino, nicknamed The Closer, continuing D'Agostino and Associates' legacy of helping the injured for over 35 years. My father, John D'Agostino, built this injury firm to help accident victims.
This is John D'Agostino, and this is a family firm. For us, it's about doing what's right and making sure somebody pays for your pain. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-BITE-BACK.
They call me The Closer because big or small, in court or out, I'm fighting to get the job done, to win, to get you every dollar you deserve.
D'Agostino and Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there and I'll be there for you. Call us first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window and Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window and Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window and Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window and Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Score or win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Friends, it's football season, the best time of the year. You should be out there tailgating, cheering on your team, and enjoying every Sunday. But if you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain, even getting off the couch can feel like a challenge. You don't have to live like that. There's help. Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain is New Jersey's top pain specialist. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, and is dedicated to helping you get back in the game. Here's what makes the difference. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical image-guided procedures that deliver real results. Dr. Shaw treats neck pain, back pain, joint pain, migraines, nerve pain, and sciatica with a plan that's customized for you. Same-day and next-day appointments are available, and with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, relief is always close. So don't let pain keep you on the sidelines this season. Visit SandwellPain.com to call, text, or book online. Most major insurances are accepted. That's SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think, and it starts today.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. All investments involve risk, including loss of principal. Options, futures, and crypto trading carry significant risk and may not suit all investors. Securities offered through Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Futures trading is offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Crypto offered through Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840, not FDIC or SIPC protected. Portfolio management offered by Robinhood Strategies, an SEC registered advisor.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hockey fans and holiday shoppers, check out Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from the NHL Shop. Tuesday, December 2nd at Hudson Yards, Manhattan West Plaza. They'll be talking all things hockey.
It's hockey, man.
The excitement of the season, and joined on-site by Rangers legend Mark Messier. It's all powered by Game 7 brands, bringing you closer to the action than ever before. Don't miss Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from the NHL Shop, Tuesday, December 2nd.
Welcome back to the show. All right, so we move some things around. Steve Young usually joins us at 1:30. Now he's going to join us right now. And then we have Andy Martino at 2 o'clock to talk more baseball with the Nimmo trade and Hal Steinbrenner and the things that Hal said. So we welcome in the Hall of Famer Steve Young. Steve, how you doing?
Great. Sorry about the little change here. I screwed up the time. We and Ray, your man Ray. I'm in Phoenix, and they don't change time, so I screwed it up. So
no worries whatsoever. I'm watching the Cowboys and the Eagles game, and the Eagles jump out 21-0, and that's in the second quarter, and then they don't score again the rest of the game. And, Steve, I mean, scratch my head. When you've got those kind of offensive weapons, I know Dallas's defense played pretty well. How do you not score for almost 3 quarters?
You know, it's the drama of being up 21-0 in the NFL, which now it doesn't mean as much as it used to. The game's so much more wide open, and the I'll call it the vicissitudes of the scores can just fluctuate so fast. So, like, but it's natural. Like, you just hunker down and like, oh, we got this, right? Players do it emotionally. Even coaches do it. Even the owner's probably like, I'm going to go home. We're good, you know. And you're not good, and you got to be careful. And what happens is all of a sudden the comeback comes, and you don't have the people don't realize football is such an emotional game because you have to go ram into people. You have to have that incentive, that irrational incentive in some ways to go ram into people, and that comes from you have to prepare to do it. And if you don't prepare, you've seen teams come out flat all the time because they didn't emotionally prepare to go ram into people. And so you can prepare, go up 21-0, and then kind of like, okay, we're good. And then you can't get it back. Momentum, they talk about it as momentum, but I think it's deeper than that. It goes to the emotional preparation you have to go, get the job. So then you try to reignite it, and you're not smooth. Things are going haywire. You can't get anything going. The running game, you can't get. It's just typical to me, being up big to finish a game. Bill Walsh used to say, and there's so many Bill Walsh isms that I think are now like so true. But he's like, you got to finish, and that's what he talked about and he would call plays to finish. He would never let the gas off. He would always be making sure that you were emotionally like on your front foot. And I think that's so big, especially when you're one of the better teams in the league like Philadelphia. When you're up a lot, you got to be better at that than that.
Do you believe, though, that there's something broken with that Philly offense, especially between
Hurts
and the receivers? Is there something up there?
Yeah, there is, but it's like because they've shown that they can win Super Bowls by kind of grinding you, right? And so, and that's a low risk situation. And Hurts is a quarterback that, like, they don't ask him to be Superman very often. And I think that he's gotten used to that role too. And so it's kind of, it's like a game managing, not quarterback position. I'm just thinking in general, just as an offense coordinator. You're kind of game managing because your defense is really good. And like, we're going to score points in our usual way. And Saquon's going to get it done. And what happens is if you don't practice and then call the plays to expand the field and to push people and take the risks. And that's the thing. The Eagles can go to the playoffs without a lot of risk, but to win it all, you're going to need to. And I just think it wastes. They wander waiting. That's why AJ gets mad, right? He's pissed because where's the ball? Well, the ball's not coming because we don't really even work at that.
Right.
The coaches are going to call the plays to do that, and so you end up shrinking. And again, you go up 21-0, another win for the Eagles, and then you screw it up. So you're exposing the problem that they have on both sides. That I think all they can do is like get an innovative mind to go start calling plays. You saw the Colts yesterday; they lost. I get it, but just such cool play calling. You saw the Rams; it was amazing play calling, combinations, explosive and innovative and cool, and like. You gotta lean in. That's like a league today. But I can't. What can I say about the Eagles? Oh, they got to do all this and this. They have a Super Bowl trophy in their hands. Like it's fresh. So we can complain about them and all. But those are our problems, no matter what the situation is of the Super Bowl.
Earlier on our station, Damian Woody, you mentioned the Colts, and he said he didn't like the way Daniel Jones looked at all in that game, especially when it became really a clutch time in the game. He said he kind of disappeared. It was the old Daniel Jones. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be really because it doesn't make sense to us. Daniel's not making sense, right? We watch him in New York. We get him, but then maybe not because you get innovative mind, like I just told you, and some cool play calling, and an offensive line that I think feels like one of the best in the league. And they just got people that are they're on this, and so in a way, the Colts are ready to now grow into what you just described, the team that finishes, the team that can come back from 10 down with 3 minutes to go, the team that can put people away. And they've shown that, but they're not, everyone's still wondering about the Colts. They're even wondering about themselves. And so Daniel missed an opportunity yesterday to do something really important, which was to finish. And so to me, we're going to doubt him. And I think I think he probably should doubt himself a little bit just because you got to keep doing it to prove against the narrative. And I was a missed opportunity, but I think they're poised to do it, but Daniel's got to get it done.
Was that, and I don't believe in this stuff, Steve, unless it's mathematical, but was that as close to a must-win as the Chiefs had?
Oh, yeah. They have they're back in the situation where every game's a playoff game. Because you look at the standings, and they need to finish 11-6 at worst, I think, to kind of make sure that they get in. Mm-hmm. And at 6-5, you do the math. You got very little wiggle room. So they're going to have to get hot. And they've done it before. We've watched it. It's not going to be incredible to think that it's to have it happen, but it's tough. They're in a tough. They put themselves in a really tough spot this year.
Are the Bears for real?
The Bears, Ben Johnson's for real. I really believe in him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, this league is led by innovative minds. And you can look around the league and look at what happened in Jacksonville. Liam comes from the Bill Walsh, Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan tree. And all those guys that come from those trees are thriving in the league today. They're not perfect, but they're gonna be in the game. Look what happened, and just look around the league. So to me, absolutely. I really love what they're doing, and what it does is it gives everybody a hope. Like the Bears have never had hope from the offense and from the quarterback position. It's like they know that they're gonna have to scratch out a win. All of a sudden they go, no, we can do, and then they expand into it. And that's what I love about yesterday is like they've got the Steelers in town. They're not just going to fold, but we're going to come up with unique, great ways to expand and go win a ball game. That win for the Bears and where their record is, they're going to have to prove it to themselves the rest of the year, like we just talked about the Colts. But I feel like they've got the pieces to go kind of do something fun.
Now, the Raiders lost to the Browns. Shedeur Sanders' first start ends up with a win, and Chip Kelly ends up getting fired. The problem with the Raiders, was it their offensive coordinator, Steve?
Come on, Michael. We talk about this every week, bro. I mean, it's like there's equity owners that they gotta look at themselves. Like who's hiring who, and what kind of people are they hiring? What kind of people are they hiring? And like it's a Jets carousel. What's happening to the Raiders right now? And they both got.
Shouldn't Tom Brady know better? Shouldn't Tom Brady know better?
I don't know that is he making that call? I mean, if he's making that call, he should know better. I don't think he's making the call.
Right. So it's the guy with the bad haircut.
Well, he's a great. Look, if you meet him, he's like a kind, fun guy. But I mean, as far as just like football, like I don't know. We've talked about this before. There's the untouchables, which the equity owners in the NFL. We can complain about it. We can scream about it. It doesn't matter. And so you end up just finally giving up and just yelling at the coach and the general manager because that's all you can do. But if you got to look at the systemic issues and say to yourself, why does it keep going around in a circle?
Right.
And we've got to encourage the equity owners to think about it differently. Maybe we can put pressure on them to think about it differently. We know we can't get rid. They're not going to change, but maybe we can lean in to give them more insight into what they should be doing.
All right, one quick thing before I let you go. Did the Giants and Mike Kafka make the right decision not going for that field goal? 4th and goal at the 6. That is not an easy one to get, and you go up by 6 and you dare your defense not to allow a touchdown.
It's like the league has become college, like old college that I think about. Those are the kind of decisions that colleges used to make. Now
right.
the pro game is college. And in that way, that's why the transition's a little easier for players. But coaches are making that transition. And now, because it's a newer way philosophically to do it, Dan Campbell's the one that, I mean, think about it. If he kicks a field goal against the 49ers, he goes to the Super Bowl. But no, we're going for everything. This is who we are. Like, come on. Like, step back. We still got some, logic in the whole thing. Kick the field goal and go win a game. And so, yes, I think what's happening is fans, players, media are all basically leaning into this college-like atmosphere. It's like, yeah, go. You're on your side of the field in the first quarter. Go. Like if you're not careful, you make a lot of bad decisions.
Great stuff. Enjoy Phoenix. I thank you for coming on, and have a happy Thanksgiving, Steve.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Take care, Michael.
You be well. That is the great Steve Young, the Hall of Famer, joins us every Monday. Joining us in just a moment, it's going to be Andy Martino trying to make sense of what's going on in the world of baseball. I do want to remind hockey fans and holiday shoppers, join Don Hahn and Rosenberg live from the NHL shop at Hudson Yards. That's Tuesday, December 2nd from 3 until 6:30 p.m. They'll be talking all things hockey, and they'll be joined on site by hockey legend Hall of Famer Mark Messier. It's all powered by Game 7 brands, bringing you closer to the action than ever before. Don't miss Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live on Tuesday, December 2nd from the NHL shop that is in Manhattan. It's a great shop. We used to do the show there a lot, so I think it's going to be awesome. Also, Andy Martino of SNY is awesome. He joins us in just a second right here on the K Show on ESPN New York.
Hey, this is Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson for three.
And this is your home for New York Knicks basketball. This is 880 ESPN.
WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
ESPN New York is throwing a holiday party you don't want to miss. Join us Friday, December 12th at your mother's house in Garden City Park. We'll be broadcasting the Michael K. Show live from 1 to 3, followed by Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg from 3 to 7, all while supporting a great cause. Bring a toy to benefit the Garden of Dreams Foundation and help make the season brighter for local kids in need. It's the ESPN New York Holiday Party, Friday, December 12th, brought to you by Spiked Aid, Security Dodge, Amazon Pickup, and ESPN New York.
Ox Spine at New York Presbyterian is always in pursuit of a better way to heal the spine. We're getting more people moving again with minimally invasive, non-surgical, and surgical treatments with innovative solutions for every back and spine condition and your unique needs. Expert spine care is available now across New York City and Westchester. Find a doctor at nyp.org/oxspine. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown! Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
All right, a random Monday in November turns into a big baseball day. And certainly the Jets and the Giants do their part as they continue to lose. So there's very little to talk about, although the Giants fire their defensive coordinator. I'm sure that will change things. So we have the trade of Simeon for Nimmo. Nimmo waives his no trade clause. How Steinbrenner speaks with the media as well. And I said, we got to get on Andy Martino, my guy from SNY. He'll bring some clarity to all of this. Andy, how you doing?
I'm good, Michael. So you think – so I'm not following the NFL as closely as I used to because I'm so busy with year-round baseball. So you think the Giants are fixed now? It's all good?
I think it's all good. Next
right
week
path?
It's going to be a different team, Andy. You tune in, you find out.
Good for them.
Yeah, I think
good
so,
for them
too.
and their fans. All
right,
better
so
now.
the Mets all fixed with this deal.
No,
See that
but
transition, huh?
I do. You are a pro. You've done this before, haven't you? I think they are on the path to an aggressive, active winter that they certainly hope will leave them fixed. I think it's an admission, the trade of Nimmo is an admission that they weren't just a couple of pitchers away. They weren't going to do anything that resembled running it back, that even though they only missed the playoffs by a game on the last day of the season, this past season, they knew that they had some deeper issues that they had to address. So this is just the start of that. So not fixed yet, but that's their plan to get there.
Now, the fact that they trade away a guy that obviously was a popular Met with the fans, does that bode poorly for Pete Alonso that, hey, we're willing to make these tough decisions in order to put the team together that we want to put together?
Yeah, potentially, but I think that it's easy to underestimate the sentimentality in Mets fandom that is, in fact, in David Stearns, because he is somebody who obviously speaks rationally and doesn't emote maybe externally the way that many fans do. But the fact is, this is a guy who actually, like I've talked, like he used to hide his radio under his covers as a kid in Manhattan and listen to Bob Murphy and Gary Cohen, and like he does get that side of it, but he's tasked now with making decisions. So he's very passionate about building a winner out of the Mets. He may have a different idea of how to do that, but I think he doesn't have internally inside him that sense of what a Pete Alonso or Brandon Nimmo means to the franchise more than a lot of GMs would. It's just that sentimentality toward a player doesn't mean that that player will, in their view, help you win, and that's the goal. I mean, do you want a middling roster full of popular guys or a World Series winning roster full of like new guys? You know,
right.
that those are the conversation, or those are the thoughts that Stearns is trying to, you know, I guess the needle he's trying to thread, Michael.
All right, so with this trade, essentially at this point, it leaves open center and left. Does that mean that they're all in on going after either a Bellinger or a Tucker, or will they look the trade route, or do they actually think the answers are out of the system?
They do see part of this. Well, first of all, I want to zoom out and say really a massive part of this is just unloading the back end of Nimmo's contract. So it's like, okay, great. Love Brandon, but we're not stuck with that long contract anymore. And so how they fill that was actually secondary to just getting out of the commitment, which is they found a creative way to do it by bringing in Marcus Semien to play second base. But really, they have more room for a couple of prospects, Carson Bench and Jet Williams, who are outfielders. Williams can play infield too, but freeing up spots for internal and freeing up spots for big splash kind of moves too, although nothing's in the hopper. It's not like, all right, we moved Nimmo, now let's get this Tucker thing done. It's not like that. But Tucker and Bellinger are possibilities. Tucker, I would say, is not a strong possibility because they traded Nimmo in order to have better corner outfield defense for years going forward. When it was Soto and right and Nimmo and left, you better have a good center fielder, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So they got one of those guys out. So signing Tucker means you take probably an average defender in right and Tucker, move Soto to left, which is a lot of ground to cover at Citi Field. That doesn't help shore up your run prevention, does it? So that's why I don't see Tucker as a fit. Not to mention another 10-year contract or something in that neighborhood when they just got out of a long one. Bellinger works a little bit more. Sorry, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you actually think that there's a legitimate chance they make a run at Bellinger?
I do. Now, having said that, it gets tricky because Scott Boras controls the board here, right? And the Mets could sign Bellinger and say, oh, we got our first baseman. We don't need Pete anymore. You think Boras would want to create that situation? I think probably not. So I'm not sure they're going to have access to Bellinger, if you know what I mean, through the fact that his agent represents Pete. But Bellinger fits what they need to a T. They need to improve their offense now that Nimmo's gone. They need to improve their defense. I don't have to tell you what a left fielder Bellinger is. So that he fits.
Well, how about the fact they want to be more right-handed? Does that play against Bellinger?
It does. But I think that I know that run prevention, or as we used to call it, defense, is more important to them than lineup handedness at the moment.
So let's talk about Semien a little bit. 35 years old. Used to be a terrific power hitter. He's still a terrific defender.
Mm-hmm.
The regression offensively, are they concerned about that, or do they think there's something that they could tap into?
They are not concerned about it because they are trading for the glove. And they do think that there's more there offensively, or they hope at least, there's more there offensively than what we've seen. This isn't Mets spin. I was talking to some very Rangers-connected people last night, and they said, for some reason, Globe Life turned into an extreme pitcher's park this past couple of years. And they think that Simeon will hit a little bit better elsewhere as his home park. That's one thing. And Rangers people, not Mets people, Rangers people attest. They think Simeon's got another couple of years left of being a solid hitter. Maybe the OPS around 700 or something. And you take that with elite up-the-middle defense, and that's what the Mets are expecting. You're not expecting all-star Marcus Simeon from the prime of his career.
Any concern? I mean, I know you get out from under 5 years remaining, now 3 years remaining at about 25 a year. I guess they don't care because I read that they also sent $5 million to the Rangers.
That's right, $5 million to the Rangers. It's 5 versus 3, and when you look at what those players are bringing defensively at this point,
right?
Obviously, Simeon's just such a superior defensive player right now than Nimmo is at his position that they'll take that for the short term, and then again to be out of Nimmo's contract when he's in his late 30s just was very appealing to them.
Now, I trust you with this. I don't get to work the Met clubhouse all that often, except for the 6 games they play. Is Nimmo as terrific a guy as everybody makes him out to be?
He is a really, really genuinely nice and authentic person. I'll selfishly miss talking to him. I think that as he has assumed more of a leadership role in the clubhouse, when someone's a leader, whether it's Lindor in his way or Judge or in this case Nimmo, not everyone's going to love your leadership style. And he's taken on that role, I think, of being more authoritative in the clubhouse over the years because of how long he's been there and how much he cares about the Mets. So if you gave 25 other Mets truth serum, I think you'd have a lot of guys that love him and some guys that would be like, yeah, that wasn't really my kind of leadership style. But he is a really quality person and certainly not someone that the Mets traded because he was toxic in any way or anything like that. He's a nice man.
All right, so you get Simeon to play second. You have 17.75 remaining, 1 year on McNeil. Is he going to be traded? Because I know what Stern said today. You move him around, but if you put him in the outfield, your run prevention thing goes down the toilet. So are they going to move him?
They're certainly willing to, and I wouldn't be surprised if they traded McNeil. But I know Mets fans don't want to hear this, but in a world without Alonso, McNeil and Mark Vientos could be a first base platoon, theoretically. Right. I think they're being a little cautious about moving him because they don't see him necessarily, and the league doesn't see McNeil as a plus defender around the diamond anymore, but he might be plus at first base defensively still at this stage. He's a great athlete. He even was able to fake it in center field, and the metrics weren't good, but the fact that he could go out there and play center at all was pretty remarkable. So they see value in his athleticism even as he gets a little older, but he's certainly not someone they're so attached to that they wouldn't give him up if someone else came calling and had a good offer.
Quick aside, for a couple of years now, I thought that he would be a great fit at Yankee Stadium. I don't fit anymore, but I thought that was a perfect swing for Yankee Stadium. He could do some damage there. Would you agree?
I think McNeil as a baseball player would have been a perfect fit for the Yankees, and they talked about him here and there at times with the Mets. Trade talks that never got too hot. I think that McNeil's Aaron Boone knows how to handle a lot of different personalities, and McNeil's, is redder than most. So that might have been some hesitation on the Yankees' part in some ways, but I agree with you in terms of the swing and the defensive versatility and everything.
Andy Martino of SMY is our guest. Do you really believe that the Mets are actively trying to move Senga?
Yes. Oh, no doubt. There's been a weird couple of years with Senga. I've never seen anything like it, where a team needs pitching, a pitcher says, I'm healthy, but I'm not mechanically right, so I'm just going to keep throwing bullpens. That was a head-scratcher 2 years ago. That didn't leave the relationship in a great place. They worked hard at it. They even sent their pitching coach at the time to Japan to hang out with them in the offseason last year. This year comes about. It was peaceful the way they agreed at the end of the year for Senga to go down to AAA, and they were all on the same page. But it's just a weird situation. He's back in the clubhouse in the last couple days of the season. The Mets are blowing it. they're piggybacking because they don't have any starting pitching. Senga's healthy there, but just like not pitchable, and no one isn't sure exactly why. So I think there's an argument to be made here for like, let's just give everyone a fresh start. So they're having trade talks regarding him for sure.
So everybody in the world has some kind of podcast. My 11-year-old son's going to start one. It's going to be great. And one of those guys that has a podcast is Adam Ottavino, a guy I respect.
Yeah.
And boy, did he go up and in on Carlos Mendoza. Did those words resonate at all within the Met hierarchy?
Oh man, Michael, I was able to stay out of this between two people I like until just this moment. I would say, that definitely the Met hierarchy noticed and found it interesting. They always regarded Ottavino as like a really sharp guy who they liked having there. I'm not saying they don't anymore. So when Adam says something, they're not just like, oh, here's a crazy person popping off. I'm sure they would think about anything that Adam says. They also feel like they have a good manager still. So, I when two people that you like fight, what are you supposed to do? You stand back and you go, come on, guys. And, that's how I feel about this one. But Adam doesn't speak without there being any substance, and Carlos Mendoza cares about his players. So those are two things that I know. I don't know how else to say than that.
Let's shift over to the Yankees. Hal Steinbrenner spoke today. Did you take anything of significance out of what the Yankee owner said?
That's interesting. I mean, I think that, as you well know, Michael, maybe the way that he was pretty pointed in his answers to the questions about the Yankees being wildly profitable. You and I hear this all the time, but I'm not sure it's evident to fans who read the coverage that these any public estimates about teams' finances, like Forbes or whatever, teams tend to say that they're always wildly inaccurate. So you and I see these charts, I think sometimes online, the Yankee fans do, like, here's the reported profits from this year, and they only spent this on payroll, so what is Hal doing? And it seemed clear to me that that's bugging Hal, because he knows what the books say. There's only one team in all of Major League Baseball whose books we know, and that's the Atlanta Braves, because it's a public company. The you could say MLB teams should be more transparent, then we could know what they're dealing with. But I think that Hal clearly doesn't like the idea that people think that they're making all kinds of money and not putting it back into the team, because he does really care about winning a championship. We know that. And I think he seems sick of hearing otherwise. That was a takeaway for me, but I don't think he gave us much in terms of, do they need to stay under 300 or where exactly are they at? That we didn't get any more info out of him than we usually do, I didn't think.
It's always interesting to me because, when I come down on one side or the other, people are going to think it's colored, but I'm glad to hear you say it as well. This guy, people say, oh, he doesn't care about winning. All he cares about is profit. And my answer would be, then why would he have a $320 million payroll? You could be able to win at $250, and then you pocket $70 more million. So it just doesn't ring true to me. And I do truly believe that $320 is certainly enough given to the baseball ops people to build a team that can win a title.
Absolutely, no doubt. And Cashman, to his credit, says the same thing. If I can't win with this payroll, then that's on me. And I think that's absolutely true. And his passion, I've seen Hal pissed off in the hallways after bad losses. I've heard that he is very demonstratively passionate about winning and losing. And you would say, why would he have the $300-some million payroll if he doesn't want to win? I'll take it a step further, Michael. Why continue to own the Yankees if you don't care? This family could cash out for how many? I don't imagine how many billions of dollars.
I mean, if the Lakers got $10 billion, the Yankees are worth more than the Lakers.
That's right. Right. So it means a lot to the family to win. And anyway, we're saying the same thing on that. But I think he also thinks, like, I have this accomplished, intelligent general manager, and he's got his staff, and they better put the team in a position to win at this payroll. And by the way, they do, obviously. Every year, the reason that we get to what is such a disappointing division series or LCS for the Yankees most years is because they're good enough to get there. But that's a whole other conversation.
All right, so I had this crazy thought last week I want to run it past you because I have great respect for you. If you're the Yankees, I believe that I think the Bellinger bidding might go past where they think, we're good. They might tap out. And I think that the answer is right out there in San Diego, a team that's being sold, probably has to cut payroll. And I think Fernando Tatis Jr. would be an absolute star at Yankee Stadium, and his contract at one time seemed onerous, is far from that now for a player of that caliber. What do you think?
Boy, that's really interesting, Michael. I kind of in my head had a more, I wonder if the Mets would get aggressive there. But would you put him in right, and then what would you do with Judge?
No, I'm not messing with Judge. I think that guy's so good.
You put him in left?
I put him in left.
Because he's probably more rangy and athletic than Judge, but Judge is such a great right fielder.
Right, I just don't think it's fair to do that to Judge anymore.
Yeah, that's fair. So I agree. So you put Tatis in left. Yeah, that's a star. There's very little downside to that one. And I don't know if he could still play on the dirt at all, but there's probably untapped versatility there if you want it. But yeah, I agree that would be a star-making move, and the Yankees would just have to think, like with any of those super long contracts, like, are we comfortable with this guy in another 5, 6, 7, 8 years? But
the interesting thing, Andy, I think his deal only takes him to 36, so you're not getting past, you're not going into the 40s,
okay.
And his average annual value is $25 million.
Well, let's call the Padres and get this done for Brian. This is a good idea.
I mean, they'd have to give up a truckload. Look what they had to give up for 1 year of Soto. But, I mean, when you've got a team
and how
that's
much
up
is that
against
burnt,
it financially.
Not at all. That's right. A team that's up against it financially. And, one thing I'll say about the Yankees, too, is that obviously in trades, the players who they've traded for have not always been the right selections over the past number of years. They've made some good trades, but they've also traded for some players that really didn't fit. But they almost never get burned by who they give up. And that is because I don't know why this is unusual in baseball. Every team should do it, but it is unusual. They have some of their top evaluators, including Tim Naring, on their own minor league system every day of the week. So they know who not to trade. They traded about how many pitchers who weren't impactful for the Padres did they trade for Soto? I mean, no offense to the Randy Vasquez's, Johnny Britos of the world, but the Yankees have such good internal scouting that they can say, no, you could trade him, you can trade him, you can trade him. So my point being that, they'd have to give up a truckload for Tatis, but the Yankees have earned the benefit of the doubt where they're not really going to – they've traded good players, but they don't usually get burned.
I was stunned, and I've said it over and over last week, and a lot of people in our business say they weren't stunned. I was stunned at, signing up for $22 million for Grisham. I don't look at him as a $22 million player, and everybody said, well, there's no such thing as a bad 1 year. Well, what that means that this year, that's $22 million you can't spend on other things. So give me your thoughts on that.
That tells me that you're onto something with the Bellinger thing possibly getting out of their comfort zone. It feels to me like a hedge. It's an expensive hedge, and it makes it harder to pay Bellinger probably.
Right.
But it's, to me, no Yankee person has said this to me. All the Yankees will say is, we're so happy he accepted. You're like, okay. But what it feels to me is that there's a middling level of confidence that they're going to get to a comfortable place with Bellinger, and they want Grisham in case Bellinger leaves. That's what it feels like to me. My gut on that.
You think Skubal ends up with the Mets?
I think he could very well sign with the Mets, but my read on, in a year, but my read on that dynamic is, although the Mets, if there's an ace available this winter, they're going to be in on whatever those trade talks are. It'd be hard for them to give up a couple of pitching prospects for 1 year of a guy who they can easily give $400 or $500 million to in 12 months. I think that's how they probably look at that one.
Andy Martino of SNY is our guest. Before I let you go, do you believe that there's pressure on David Stearns? Because he did not have a great year last year. He had a very good year the year they went to the NLCS with the additions he made, but last year wasn't good.
I think he'd probably tell you that, of course there's pressure. He came in here with a strong pedigree as someone who they've been waiting for a long time, had a spectacular first year and such a downer of a second year that, he's there to get this thing turned around in a hurry. That's a difficult job. I'm sure he feels the pressure of it every day. How do I get this thing right next year? He's a confident guy. You don't get to where he is by the age of 40 without having confidence in your abilities. But I think pressure's a fair word here. I mean, the Mets that was really rough at the end of last year, and he knows that he's got to get it turned around, which is, again, you trade a beloved core player. That tells you he knows that this isn't going to be a modest offseason. It's one with the pressure to make really big changes that are good. Hopefully, they hope for the franchise.
Now, I promise you that would be the last, but this is the last. 1 to 100. 100 is you're absolutely sure. What percentage would you put on Alonso being a Met in 2026?
And you can ask me as many questions as you want, Michael. We're just sitting here on a Monday afternoon.
Yeah, why not?
Go
right into
1 to 100.
Rosenberg.
Alonso coming back 1 to 100. 53 coming back. 53%. I'd say it's slightly over 50-50 that he's going to come back.
And do you believe that there's a hill they die on in terms of years? Because you keep hearing from Boris people, 7 years. I mean, if I'm the Mets, I'd tap out. I'm not giving them 7 years.
I wouldn't be shocked if they tapped out of anything over 4.
Yeah.
I do think there'll be this goes back to one of your first questions about Stearns and sentimentality. I think he's sentimental enough to stretch for Alonso beyond his comfort zone. But if his comfort zone is a couple of years, then the stretch is 4. And so if somebody this was the case last year. I don't think it's changed with Alonso's free agency. If somebody offers Pete 5 years, he's probably going to play for that team, whoever they are. And I don't think that's not going to be the Mets unless something changes dramatically at the finish line. But the Mets would love to have him back for less than that. So it's going to depend on what his opportunities are. Nobody made him a 4-year offer last winter.
Right.
I know of 2 offers that he had. One was for 3 with the Blue Jays. One was for 3 with the Mets. I know for a fact that he did not have an offer of longer than that. So he'll probably strong chance he comes back to the Mets if that remains the case. But again, if some team wants to target him and be like, this is our splash, the Mets are not going to go down that road and do a bidding war probably.
Andy, great stuff. I hope you and your family have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving, and thank you for spending some time with me today.
Always a pleasure, Michael. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Be well. Hey, the ESPN New York holiday party, it's back. I don't know if you guys realize this. This show, the Michael K. Show, and Don Hahn and Rosenberg are bringing the holiday cheer at your mother's house in Garden City Park, Long Island. That's on Friday, December 12th. We're once again collecting unwrapped toy donations this year to benefit the Garden of Dreams Foundation. All kicks off at 1 p.m. on Friday, December 12th at your mother's house. Brought to you by Amazon Pickup, Security Dodge, and Spiked Aid. Now, it's time for the co-host. I've still got other stuff to hit on, but I want to hear from you as well. We just went over a lot with Andy Martino. 1-800-919-3776. That is the number, so get involved. That's your resume sent in to us, the co-host, for just a bit. This Thanksgiving, FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to build a better parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. Here's how it works. Start a group build, add your pick, then pass it to your friends so they can add theirs. When everyone's done, you each lock in the group parlay with your own funds. Because football is better when it's played and bet together. And to make it even better, everyone gets a 50% profit boost to use on the build. A lot of games this Thanksgiving. The Chiefs are in Dallas, so maybe you like Mahomes and the over on passing yards against a good Dallas defense. The Ravens, they're hosting the Bengals. Will Derrick Henry find the end zone against a defense that's not as good without Lou Anarumo running it? Hey, grab your crew, start your build, and get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. Visit FanDuel.com/K to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with the gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Roaring engines this year. Hess race cars are here.
The Hess stock car racers are loaded with lights, sounds, and a powerful racing motor. Only at HessToyTruck.com. Free shipping and batteries included.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
This fall, don't sit on the sideline because of pain. If you're tired of waking up stiff, fighting neck, back, or joint pain, and missing out on the things you love, it's time to take action. Call Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain, New Jersey's top pain specialist. Dr. Shaw is an Ivy League trained, double board certified, and laser focused on one thing: getting you back in the game. Living pain-free, no surgery, no cuts, no downtime. Just precise image-guided treatments that deliver real results. Whether it's sciatica, nerve pain, migraine, or chronic joint pain, Dr. Shaw will personalize a non-surgical game plan just for you without pain medication. Same-day and next-day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Most major insurances are accepted, so what are you waiting for? Don't let pain keep you out of the action this season. Visit Sandwell Pain to text, call, or book online. You'll wish you met Dr. Jay Shaw a lot sooner. Relief starts today, and victory over pain is closer than you think.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Your fantasy roster is set. The Smack Talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Clinton Yates here. The holidays are upon us, and so are the savings at Total Wine & More. Discover thousands of wines, spirits, and beers like my favorite, IPAs, perfect for every celebration and every budget. From bold reds to sparklers, you'll find the perfect wines to raise a glass this season. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find only at Total Wine & More. Curbside pickup and delivery available in most areas. See TotalWine.com for details. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
All right, just heard from SNY's Andy Martino about the Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien, and Laura Albanese, who covers the Mets for Newsday, got a hold of Nimmo, and he said that the deal, quote, took me as a shock. He asked David Stearns if he was the only thing standing in the way of the trade, and Stearns said yes. Quote by Nimmo, I was taken aback. The Mets would not have brought this trade if they didn't think it put them in the best position. According to Laura, the Nimmos had just finished building a house in Port St. Lucie. Quote, we had built this life that it sent around that we were going to be New York Mets until the very end. And Ranger spring training, by the way, is in Arizona. Nimmo goes on to say they had made it apparent that they felt like the best way to move forward for the Mets was this trade. Nimmo also said I could have had a pretty good chance of having a number in the rafters, but that's not what it all means to me. I would honestly rather win a World Series. I absolutely love Met fans. I fell short of a World Series, but hopefully, and it seems like from the outpouring support that I've been getting, that the fan base remembers me fondly as well. That's always a great feeling, to feel like you're appreciated. So there you have it. Nimmo had to waive the no-trade clause. He signed an 8-year deal just 3 years ago. And I got to tell you all these big-term, long-term contracts, teams sour on them right away. The Mets soured on Nimmo because age does affect you. It does not make you the same player. The Rangers soured on Simeon, who helped them win a World Series. Now they've soured on Seager, and they'd like to trade Seager as well. All long-term deals become albatrosses. They just do. Players are not the same in their late 30s as they are in their late 20s. It's just a physical fact. Now, it wasn't a physical fact when PEDs were prevalent, because that extended your period of greatness. So fans could clamor all they want. And you just heard Andy Martino. The Mets would probably tap out on Pete Alonso after 4 years. If anybody wants to give him 5, the Mets are going to say, okay, we loved having you here. And it makes sense that these organizations should operate with some semblance of rational thought. Just handing out 10-year deals doesn't make sense. Now, I know why the Mets did it with Soto, because he was 26 years old. So it makes sense. But I'll tell you what, he's not going to be the same player at 38, 39, 40. So teams, for the most part, know we're either going to try to get rid of this player or we're going to have to eat it at the end, because nobody ages gracefully. The Yu Darvish deal that the Padres made, a joke. He's out all year. Another Tommy John surgery. The Machado deal, as great as he is, going to age poorly. Bogarts, they already want him gone. Terrible deal. Terrible. Even the best deals, like the Yankees signing Cole, a year out of the contract, where he's unavailable because Tommy John surgery. So the long-term deals for pitchers are probably more ridiculous. As great as Yamamoto is, and he's helped them win 2 World Series, so it doesn't matter what happens in that deal. At the end of the deal, they're not going to want him on the team. It's just the way it works. Just the way it works. Larry and Corona. Larry.
Hello. Hey, what's up, Michael?
How you doing, man?
I'm not doing too good as a Mets fan.
Why not?
I'm very sad today. I'm very sad.
How come?
Because, okay, we traded somebody who's older, puts more money on the payroll, and not as good offensively. And you traded away another homegrown talent. Like, how many less homegrown all-time Mets are we going to have? Ed Kranepool, David Wright. I wanted to see Brandon Nimmo win a championship with this team. I wanted to see number 9 retired. But David Stearns, he has no feel for this organization.
No, but Larry, he does, because he was you. He grew up that guy. You just heard what Andy Martino said. Listen to Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. You know, he grew up a Met. Bernie, that's a big deal to be able to reach the promised land all those times with guys that came up through your system. But you know what? A championship feels just as good whether it's with a homegrown product or not. That's all there is to it. Whether it's a homegrown product or not. So, I'm sorry. I understand the hurt. and there's going to be a lot of hurt. I'm sure we're going to put people on the K couch if Pete Alonso ends up signing somewhere else. But you just don't keep a homegrown player because the fans love him if you don't think that that's the way to make it work. Let's go to Chris in Barnegat. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Michael. So I've been listening to you for forever. I'm 25 years old, and I probably started listening to you when I was like 14. So I've heard a lot of things that you said, a lot of your opinions, and I think you saying that they should have kicked the field goal is probably the dumbest thing you've ever said.
It's got a lot of competition, though.
Have you seen this defense? This defense
I
can't hold
have.
a
That's
lead
why
for
the
anything,
defensive
especially in the
coordinator was
fourth
fine.
quarter.
But what's the right football move? You make them score a touchdown. The defense played pretty well on that drive, Chris. They forced a 59-yard field goal.
They
think
really
that
didn't
the
play back.
Lions would have scored?
The Lions would have 100% scored if they kicked. So you kick the field goal,
right,
and then you go down and they get the ball at the 25, or they get the ball at the 30-yard line.
Sure.
Then they have 2 minutes with Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. We couldn't stop the run for anything. We couldn't stop them at all. This defense in the fourth quarter is awful. They would have easily scored a touchdown. Easily.
Well, I mean, if you feel that way, and that's the way that Kafka felt, right? And listen, the last thing I want to be, Chris, is a Monday morning quarterback. But I said it at the time. I looked at my son. I said, I'd kick the field goal here. I just would. Now, it turned out that they did the wrong thing. And the field goal just made it in. I mean, you have so little faith in your defense. I know this is the fifth, fourth quarter lead that they've blown. The season would be much different. We'd still have Brian Dable on the sidelines, that the defense was better. But I don't think the defense was awful yesterday. Before that field goal, they'd given up 24 points to a really explosive offense. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I know that I'm on the outlier on this, and I felt like this when it happened. Make them score the touchdown. Absolutely. Make them score the touchdown. If they do, then you throw up your hands, you know what, we're not good enough. And if your defense is that bad, why didn't you fire Shane Bowen when you fired Dable? Why? Why'd you take 2 more losses? Why? I don't get it. If Shane Bowen is that bad, why was he not fired when the head coach was fired? The defense didn't do anything wrong on the field goal drive. Now, obviously, they gave up the big run to Gibbs, 69-yarder. That gave the Lions the lead, but I'm telling you, and you heard Steve Young say it, so you can say it's the dumbest thing I've ever said, and I appreciate it. Again, there's a lot of competition for that title. Steve Young said it's like college football now. You kick the field goal and you move on. And you dare your defense to stop them. And the defense did a good job on that drive. I know they're starting from the 6. And as our caller from Barnegat just said, you don't know what the return would have been. You don't know if you kick it out of bounds and they have a 40. But still, getting into the end zone is a lot different than getting a field goal. Field goal to me seems so easy, especially with the great nature of the kickers in the NFL, seems so easy in today's NFL. I want them to sweat a little bit. Make them score a touchdown. Make them score a touchdown. Instead, you tried 4th and 6. You're saying the defense is bad, right? How great is the offense, by the way? Wan'Dale Robinson had a great game yesterday, great first half. How great is the offense that you think that they're going to score on 4th and 6, 4th and goal from the 6? I didn't think they had a chance. Now, if it was 4th and goal from the 2, I might have a different feeling. 4th and goal from the 6, that's too aggressive to think for sure that you're going to score. Now, if you score, we're sitting here complimenting, how he's a riverboat gambler. Now, what I want to put out there into the ether, so Gibbs scores the touchdown in overtime. The Giants have the ball. I'm sure that they would have gone for 2 if they scored, right? Or would they have just accepted the tie? I think they go for 2 because the previous week he said he would have done the same thing. This guy needs to win. The better chance to win was to force the team to score a touchdown to win the game rather than to score an easily attainable field goal to tie the game. And they got the easily attainable field goal. 1-800-919-3776. That's the number. Let's see. I have one other thing to tell you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is important. I think it's important. Motley Crue is celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Carnival of Sins at PNC Bank Art Center on Friday, July 31st, 2026. ESPN New York has your chance to score tickets on the ESPN New York app. Find the contest tile and submit your entry. Brought to you by Live Nation. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. We'll be back in just a moment, finish it up with you. Lead you right into Don Hahn and Rosenberg at 3 on ESPN New York.
Rangers fans, it's time for Blue Shirts hockey. The action starts tonight at the Keg Room with Team ESPN New York and Bud Light. Whether you need a pregame spot or you're looking for the right Rangers bar to watch the game versus the Blues, the Keg Room is your destination. The party kicks off at 6:30 p.m. and Team ESPN will be giving away plenty of ESPN prizes. Join fellow Rangers fans tonight on West 36th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue and enjoy Bud Light specials all night long. It all happens at the Keg Room.
One touchdown can change everything. The crowd, the momentum, the game itself. It never gets old. Feel that same rush with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, where every touchdown could bring you closer to cashing in. With DraftKings Sportsbook, all the action's in your hands. First touchdown, anytime TD, live bets, every play, every snap, every game matters. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. When your team hits the end zone, you could hit the pay dirt. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WHSQ. That's code WHSQ. Bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. 21 and over. New York only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm, and I'm proud to be a part of that legacy. I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and like my father, I fight to get justice for the injured.
The hustle and grit of these streets shaped me. I'm John D'Agostino, and from the concrete to the courtroom, I built this injury firm 35 years ago to get accident victims justice. So call my team first, 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
You want justice? Think Jenna D'Agostino. Think D'Agostino & Associates. Justice isn't just a word. For us, it's a way of life. It's having compassion for your struggle and getting you paid for your pain. Now that's justice. D'Agostino & Associates means being there for the injured.
Seriously injured? Call my team first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
D'Agostino, Law, Bite Back.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. During the More to Move You event, lease a new 2025 Mazda CX-5 2.5S all-wheel drive for $229 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely, choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN S0754711. MSRP $31,070. Zero security deposit. Ends 12/1/25.
Whether you're shopping, gaming, or streaming this Black Friday season, don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber for the fastest, most reliable, and most consistent internet speeds. Starting at $25 a month, call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch. Act now and get a full year of Netflix, an unlimited mobile line, a $400 prepaid card, and more, all on us. Call 888-4OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Optimum, don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Collection.
Rich Eisen here, and we're brought to you by Sonos. The holidays are all about connection, and Sonos speakers make every moment sound amazing. Imagine your favorite playlist flowing from room to room, movie nights that feel like the theater, or the big game filling your living room with stadium-quality sound. Whether it's a gift for someone you love or a little to-me, from-me moment, Sonos is the perfect gift that brings high-quality sound to every room. Sonos' Black Friday sale is on now through December 1st, 2025 at Sonos.com. Discover how easy it is to bring every room to life with Sonos.
Hockey fans and holiday shoppers, check out Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from the NHL Shop. Tuesday, December 2nd at Hudson Yards, Manhattan West Plaza. They'll be talking all things hockey.
It's hockey, man.
The excitement of the season, and joined on-site by Rangers legend Mark Messier. It's all powered by Game 7 brands, bringing you closer to the action than ever before. Don't miss Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg live from the NHL Shop, Tuesday, December 2nd.
Welcome back to the show. We had the Knicks and the Nets tonight. So the Nets are what the Nets are. They're awful. So these next two games before Thanksgiving should be times for the Knicks to get fat. Brooklyn's 3-12. Then they go to Charlotte on Wednesday, and Charlotte is 4-12. But I've resisted going deep on the Knicks. It's early, but one thing that I've noticed that is going to be problematic. Their defense is not good. And when they play really good teams like they did against Orlando, they're going to get run out of the gym. They cannot cover the three. They can't. They allow 15.3 made threes per game. That's the worst in the Eastern Conference. The percentage that they allow in three-point shooting, also terrible. Now, at this point, they're missing their best defender, OG Anunoby. But where are the other great defenders on this team? We know Jalen Brunson's not a good defender, not from lack of effort. He's not good a defender, and neither is Cat. Mitchell Robinson's a good defender, but he only plays 20 minutes a game. Mikal Bridges is taking a step back defensively. Jordan Clarkson's not a good defender. Where's the defense coming in big games against good teams? That's a concern long term. And I'm not sure, can you tighten it up that much without drastic changes? I don't know if they're conditioned to be drastic changes being made. And now on top of this, Landry Shamet looked like he separated his right shoulder again, which means that he would be out for the year. That's what worries me. You want to ask me what I'm worried about with the Knicks? Their defense. It's dreadful. Let's go to Rich in the car. Rich, let's talk. What's up?
Yeah, just 7.5 months to talk baseball, Mike. If I hear another Pete Alonso conversation, I think he must have compromising photos of you and your competition.
Well, Rich, what should we talk about? The Jets and the Giants? They're so good. They're fun
no, but I mean, I'm a Mets fan, and
right.
It's almost Thanksgiving, and we're talking about Pete Alonso.
But, okay, Rich, so I'm going to let you program the station. What should we be talking about today? Tell me, my friend.
Well, when I hear Pete Alonso, I wish you would have Steve Young on every day. Put him on for half an hour.
Alonso, but okay, so what should we talk about? This is a New York show. The Jets and the Giants stink. How many times could we say that? So the Mets just made a huge deal, trading a player that's very popular for a player who's a world champion. What should we be talking about, Rich? I'm a little bit lost here.
Well, I mean, you could have guests on. You could have more different
Andy
guests.
Martino on.
Right. Well, you could put something out there. Who's better, LeBron or Jordan?
No.
And get calls all
you
day.
know what that is, Rich? That's crap radio. I do great radio. So if you want crap radio, go try to find it. Who's better, LeBron or Jordan? Gee, that's scintillating. What a clown. That's the kind of radio you want rather than talking about real things? I'm going to make up stuff? Hot Takeville? Oh, I think Jordan's better. No, I think LeBron's better. That'll move the needle. That makes me excited. That's what you want, Rich. I think you should get into the radio industry. Give the people at FAN a call. Give the people here at ESPN New York a call. Maybe there's a spot for you. Maybe there's something there. That LeBron, Jordan's. Hey, Ray's my producer. Ray, isn't that a great idea? Who's better, LeBron or Jordan? I never heard that before.
I mean, the originality is unbelievable.
Oh, I have goosebumps right now thinking about, maybe I'll do the whole show tomorrow. Who's better, LeBron or Jordan? I never thought of that. Good, Ray, let's get some guests lined up for that. Terrific. people. Talk too much. If I hear he's a Met fan, doesn't want to hear about whether Pete Alonso's coming back or not. Rich, go find crap radio. Go find it. It's out there. Oh, baby, it's out there. It's nearer than you think. Go find crap radio. Who's better? Who's better, Don Mattingly or Keith Hernandez? Who's the better first baseman defensively? Who's better, Willie Mickey or the Duke? Let's do all of those type of shows. I'm doing it 24 years, Rich. How about leaving me alone? And if you don't like the way I do it, here's the beautiful thing about this facility. Don't tune in. Easy, right? If you think, oh, he's talking Pete Alonso again, turn it off. Go find crap radio. Unbelievable. What a way to end the day. But we'll be back again tomorrow. Maybe talking more baseball. You never know. It all happens at 1 o'clock. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for a goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg coming up next. Hey, this Thanksgiving, FanDuel is introducing a brand new way to build a parlay together. It's called Pass the Leg. Here's how it works. Start a group build, add your pick, then pass it to your friends so they can add theirs. When everyone's done, you each lock in the group parlay with your own funds because football is better when it's played and bet together. And to make it even better, everyone gets a 50% profit boost to use on their build. A lot of things to choose from. Hey, how about the Chiefs? They're in Dallas on Thanksgiving, so maybe you'll like Patrick Mahomes and the over on passing yards. Or the Ravens hosting the Bengals. Will Derrick Henry find the end zone as he did yesterday? Grab your crew, start your build, and get in on the action this Thanksgiving with Pass the Leg. Visit FanDuel.com/K to get started. FanDuel, play your game. 21 plus, physically present in New York, opt-in required, bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you